Tonight I'm reviewing the Walgreens exclusive Transformers Legacy Evolution Autobot Medix. What's up, Transformers fans? My name's Mondo and welcome back to another Moonbase 84 transmission. And like I said in the intro, today I'm checking out the Walgreens exclusive Medix. Now if you happen to have checked out my most recent haul video, you know that I featured Medix in that video. And the reason why I picked him up was I wasn't actively seeking out Medix, but I stumbled into a Walgreens and there he was, and I was checking out the box art and the packaging, and I thought he looked pretty cool, so I went ahead and picked him up. So that's why we're looking at him today. So quickly before we get into the review, it's time for the YouTube begging. So if you could hit that like button, subscribe, and all that jazz, I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's take a look at Autobot Medix, starting with his vehicle mode. Although there's some things to like about Medix, those things kind of get washed out by the problems he has. So let's just check him out. I'm not super familiar with Medix. I know he was in the Rescue Bots cartoon, which I've never really seen except for a couple episodes with my youngest nephew. And once again, the product shot on the back of the box is what sold me on Medix. I could just totally picture him racing across the battlefield to take care of wounded Autobots, and he looked pretty cool. So here we have Medix in vehicle mode, which, considering that he's actually a repaint of Legacy Crankcase, isn't too bad for what Hasbro managed to do here. While it doesn't necessarily scream ambulance, which is what I think he's kind of supposed to be, I can picture this as a rugged battlefield alt mode, which is pretty much his job, so I think it works. So as we take a closer look at Medix, I want to point out that I do like the colors used here, the green contrasting with the white, and then you have the red little like sections here. I don't know, I want to say gas tanks, but I don't think they're gas tanks. The green really pops, and you got the cool Autobot symbol. I'm liking the bumper. It gives the vehicle that rugged look that I just mentioned. I do not like how the front wheels have the white and no rims really, and the back do. It makes it look odd. His accessories totally store on all over the place on this guy. So you have his gun. We'll take a closer look at these later. You get like 3 guns, and the bumper is removable as well. So if you didn't want him to have that rugged look, I guess you could, if I can get it off, take it off, and there you have that. But which is fine. It looks pretty cool, different, but I prefer him with the bumper. Because he is a repaint, they also included, he's a repaint, and they included the siren, which is detachable too, or the lights I should say. I always say siren when I see these lights, but I will say they don't, on my copy, they're not really in there that snugly, so I could see them easily falling out. And just give you another look. Check out the back, you get the spare tire, which is a nice little touch, and the gray bumper. So yeah, I think he's supposed to be an ambulance, but more, I think, like a battlefield rugged ambulance, which is totally fine. I mean, you don't want a regular ambulance going across the rugged battlefield. In the beginning of the video, I did mention that Medix has some problems, and they can all be attributed to engineering and or QC issues. For instance, in vehicle mode, he's a pain to get everything to tab in, especially where this back portion here tabs into the roof. I used so much force to get it to tab in that I was afraid that I was actually going to break it. And also, while transforming him into vehicle mode, I cannot get this door section, see how it flops open, to tab in. They're supposed to tab down in here, and they're not secure, so it doesn't flop if you shake it, but not secure at all. And now, because I'm sure you don't want to hear me swearing as I struggle transforming this guy, I'm going to transform Medix off camera, and we'll take a look at his accessories in robot mode. And here we have Medix in robot mode, which I think is pretty cool. I'm really liking his head sculpt, and the green stripe in the center really accents the gray nicely, and the green around here, I guess his collar, really pops in contrast to the white, just like the green does to the white in vehicle mode. He has nice paneling and details throughout his robot mode. The black and red on his legs, in addition to his gray parts, do a nice job of breaking up the white and stop him from looking plain. For more color, you can pop off the bumper section, and that also looks really cool. So you can do that. And you get some more red, some different kind of details. They're more like orangish red and some green. And I did mention that I really like the bumper section in vehicle mode, but I'm on the fence what I like better in robot mode. So now that I have the bumper piece off, let's take a look at our accessories. You do get the bumper piece, which I also wanted to mention that you can transform him with this on. You don't have to take it off. You get 2 translucent red guns, and you get a translucent blue gun. And of course, if you wanted to mention the lights, his emergency lights, that's an accessory too as well, I guess. You don't have to pop that off, I just didn't put it back on. And you can load this guy up because of his Evo fusion. So you can take these guns, how they go, like so. Plug that in, and I guess plug this in somehow, maybe like that. And then you can plug it, I think you plug it on here somehow, all like this. Or flipping around, I guess, like so. And now he has a mega gun. Now for a medic, I don't understand why he needs so many guns, but if I can get it plugged in, there you go. I don't know why a medic needs to have a full-on death cannon beam, but there you go. Does have a lot of guns for a lifesaver. So now we're just going to take a little bit of a closer look so you can see what I was talking about with the colors and the panel work. It is the white, see, is getting a little lost in my lights, and that's why I'm thankful for all the color. But yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. As I said, some nice detailing. I do wish here, this is supposed to be part of the extension of his tire. See, I wish it was black right there. Some nice detail on his legs. Come around the back. The backpack's not too bad. It looks huge, like here, which it is pretty big, but that's not too bad. But down here, he's very skinny. I wish, well, you can, I guess, mistransform him and angle this down, but I prefer it up here, even though it makes him look a little skinnier. Here's the back of his feet. So I really do like the look of his robot mode, but once again, we have QC issues, and I think they are much worse in robot mode. And the the main QC issue in my book is his chest. It doesn't properly tab in. It's very loose and floppy. So when you're trying to mess with him, like if I go like this, so you gotta hold him down, get the pose you want, and it's just floppy. It's you know, you can work around it, but it's still annoying. And speaking of floppy, a lot of his articulation joints are floppy. Here, floppy. His rotation here isn't too floppy, but like that pops off, it pops out very easy, and his knee bend is very floppy. So he could have used a little more love with the QC people before they released him. So even though he's kind of a floppy mess, he does articulate nicely, but once again, it's a little frustrating when you're messing with him. His head does turn side to side, nothing up really, tiny tilt. Again, hold down the chest, his arms rotate, they come up to here, hit him in the head. He's got the bicep swivel, elbow to like 90. He's got wrist. He's got waist articulation. His legs kick out. See, pop every time you mess with him, that chest. They go all around. Thigh swivel, floppy knee bend. See, it's just frustrating. Oh, and also ankle tilt, but no back and forth or up and down or whatever you want to call it. Also, I wanted to mention his backpack doesn't really tab in securely either, so that gets a little floppy, unfortunately. So that is my look at the Walgreens exclusive Legacy Evolution Medix. To sum it up, he's a cool looking bot with nice articulation. I also appreciate the accessories you get with him, although I don't get why a field medic would be packing so much heat per se. To me, his downfall is his QC problems, which really hinder my overall enjoyment of him, which really is a shame. I wanted to really like this guy. I remember when he first came out, he was pretty hard to find from all accounts, and the aftermarket prices were ridiculous. After I messed around with him for a bit, I was curious and checked eBay, and there are now a ton of them on there, with many selling for less than retail. After having him in hand, I can see why. I really do wish Hasbro did a better job with him in the QC department before they released him, or maybe we could send him to Ratchet to get a fine tuning. Pretty much all I can say is that this Medix could have used a medic. I also want to add that I don't have Crankcase yet, so if you do, please comment to let me know if he suffers from the same problems, so maybe I might decide not to pick him up. Also, if you have Medix, does your copy have the same problems as mine? And with all that being said, until next time, thanks for docking.